a very interesting case where some time ago, Voice for Men India had covered this story anonymously when the NRI man had got in touch with us. This incident should be a big eye opener for all men in India as well as NRI men who are planning to marry Indian brides through matrimonial websites. The Karnataka High Court on June 7, 2024 acquitted a man from false rape on promise of marriage case. Not just him, but his entire family has also been acquitted from a cheating case. What was the crime of this family? The only crime of this family was that they called off their son's marriage within a few months of the engagement because they saw certain red flags with the woman. Let us tell you about this case in detail. We've changed the name of the parties because the man has requested us to maintain his anonymity even after his acquittal. So Rajiv is the petitioner in this case, who is an Indian national and he's working with a shipping company in the US. Rajiv had visited India earlier in 2023 when he and his family decided to look for a match through a matrimonial website. So they found a woman named Isha, and the couple agrees to meet at a temple in Mysore. And just within 3 days of this meeting, the families decide that this is a good alliance and they go ahead with the engagement of this couple on 11th January 2023. Now, what happens on the day of this engagement? Isha on this day demands rupees 4 lakhs from Rajiv on the pretext of investing it into some fund. Rajiv, on the other hand, is very happy on his engagement day and he feels that anyways the woman is going to get married to him. So he happily transfers this money to her. Now, on 12th January, which is the next day of the engagement, Rajiv flies back to the US to continue with his job. Several months pass and the couple is chatting with each other over the phone, WhatsApp, etc., where Isha keeps demanding more and more money from Rajiv, let's say on pretext of making more investments in her name, renovation of her house, and the demands keep going on and on. Now, this is where Rajiv smells that something is not right, and he and his family jointly decide to call off this alliance. Let us remind our viewers that Rajiv had been outside India throughout this period. So what happens once this engagement is called off? The woman now retorts back with a fake rape case against Rajiv under Section 376 of the IPC. Not just the fiancé, but she also drags his 63-year-old father, 61-year-old mother, his married sister, and her husband, and charges all of them on a cheating case because they chose to call off this marriage. Let us understand what were the allegations by the complainant. According to her, on the day of the engagement, Rajiv had forced her into a physical relationship when they were present at home. The woman claimed that this incident took place when the family members had incidentally gone out of the home to buy some groceries. The complainant's counsel further argued that the family members from both the sides had decided upon this marriage. The date of the marriage had been fixed and the invitation cards had also been printed. And after 7 months, when the family members of the groom backed out from the marriage, the impact on the complainant and her family was so huge that this would amount to cheating. Therefore, he said that it was a clear case where the petitioners had lured the complainant and her family members into this marriage and they had cheated them by breaking the engagement. Now, what was the defense by the petitioner and his family? The learned counsel, who appeared on behalf of the petitioner, he contended that this whole rape incident, as narrated by the complainant, was highly improbable. The petitioner submitted that on the day of the engagement, the family members were all present at home and there was no scope of the groom actually forcing the bride in front of everybody into any kind of physical relationship on that day. The counsel then also informed the court that throughout the 7-month period when the couple was chatting over the phone and all, the woman kept demanding money from the groom, and this is when he was alerted and the family became suspicious. Following these demands, they took a call to back out from this marriage, and the counsel for the petitioner strongly argued that this situation by no stretch of means can fall under the ambit of, say, rape or even cheating. And he said that this was the best example to quote what is an abuse of the process of law. But since the police had filed a charge sheet in the case, the petitioners had no choice but to approach the High Court to get this matter washed. Now, this matter comes up in front of the Karnataka High Court, where Justice M. Nagaprasanna, he goes through all the facts which have been put in front of him. And particularly, he looks at the WhatsApp chats which were exchanged between the couple over a period of 7 months, which was a time when the man was present in the US and the woman was present in India. To this, the justice said that communications were galore between the two, including certain WhatsApp chats. And throughout all these communications, nowhere the woman had ever mentioned about the physical relationship that had allegedly taken place between them on 11th of January, which was the date of the engagement. The judge observed that there were several differences which were cropping up between the man and the woman, and subsequently the engagement got broken, and this complaint was a result of the broken engagement. The judge then goes on to evaluate whether this case should even go for trial, and the High Court relied on certain Supreme Court judgments of the past where it states what exactly will constitute a false promise of marriage. Now, citing certain orders of the past, the High Court said that the apex court holds a vast difference between what is promise of marriage, what is a false promise of marriage, and what is a breach of promise of marriage. He added that the circumstances could be beyond the control for a man to fulfill that promise of marriage. And he said that it would actually be a folly to treat each and every such case as a false promise of marriage to prosecute a person punishable under 376 of the IPC. Now, what happens to the family who has also been dragged to the court? The judge went on to analyze whether all of them can be charged for cheating because they decided to call off the marriage. For all reasons, as averred in the petition, this marriage has stumbled down. The judge said that this was not some case where the man and his family had lured the woman and her family to get into this marriage. Basically, this was a mutual agreement with both the families had agreed to perform this wedding. And now, merely because this engagement has broken down, at a later stage, it cannot amount to the offense of cheating against the man and his family members. Justice Nagaprasanna said that there is no warrant to permit the trial to continue further because if he permits it, it would be, at the face of it, becoming an abuse of process of law, resulting in patent injustice. Accordingly, the Karnataka High Court quashed these proceedings and the man and his family were now set free. So what is our take in this whole case? Does this story sound to you like a nightmare? Imagine you and your family can be trapped in this exact similar situation. You'll be running to the police station, to the court, just because you exercise your right to say no. This is a classic case how our rape laws are completely flawed because we are putting all the failed relationships, broken engagements, all under the same law, where a real victim of rape is also seeking justice. Let me inform our viewers that when I had spoken to this man in December last year, I had categorically asked him whether he had indulged into any kind of physical relationship with his fiancée. And he had actually gone on swearing on his parents, and he told me that there was no such incident that ever took place and that he never engaged in any kind of sexual relationship with the woman. He actually met her only for those 3 days when he was in India, and immediately after the day of the engagement, he had flown back to US to continue with his job. Isn't it ridiculous how we allow women to file rape cases even without a medical evidence or after months or years of the alleged incident? What are we doing to the men? We are throwing them in a slaughterhouse virtually to be stripped of their dignity. And as of today, the man and his family's names have been splashed across media, whereas the identity of the woman who is now a false accuser and her family remains intact. Somewhere I also believe that our Indian men and their families are not doing enough due diligence before saying yes to an arranged alliance. If a man and his family are agreeing for engagement within just 3 days of the first meeting, they are voluntarily jumping into the well. Because surely if there are strong red flags, you will be signaled right at the beginning, even before going ahead with the second or third meeting. We're not shaming the man here, but unless the supply of such vulnerable men stop in the market, the predators in the form of con women and their families will always be on the rise. While romantic relationships should never begin without trust, retaining your written communication and chats has unfortunately become the need of the hour. Lastly, I also want to say that if you ever get trapped in this kind of a situation, never ever agree or say yes to such a marriage. It may take 2 to 3 years for you to fight this case and come out of these false accusations. But remember, you're only doing this for your peaceful future. Remember, if she can threaten you with a rape case before marriage, you will only be signing upon your death bond by agreeing to such a marriage. I'm leaving this entire article in the description link of this video, but I've not uploaded the order because the man wants his identity and his family's identity to remain intact. You can also read it on our website, voiceformenindia.com. You can also follow us on our social media handles. You can engage in debates and healthy chats with each other. The ID is @voiceformenin, and it's available on Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, as well as X, which was former Twitter. Do like these videos because it helps us to spread these videos to more and more people with the algorithm. And you can also hit that bell icon and subscribe to Voice for Men India so that you can be updated as and how we broadcast a new video. If you have a story to share, please email us at the ID given below, which is contact@voiceformenindia.com. That's it from me as of now. Thank you very much for watching. Namaste. Jai Hind.